Quick disclaimer that while I tried to keep this review somewhat spoiler-free, a few spoilers were essential to my review. So if you haven't yet seen the finale to The Amazing Digital Circus, I'd recommend watching that first. So I got to see The Amazing Digital Circus movie in theaters on opening day, and I gotta say, I was shocked by how packed my theater was. I thought The Amazing Digital Circus was just this niche thing that only appealed to autistic Gen Zers like me. But my theater was full. There were people in costumes, children far younger than what I thought were the target audience, and everything about my experience going to see this movie was great, except the movie itself. So first of all, I should probably tell you my opinion of The Amazing Digital Circus as a whole. I really like it. I love the characters, the humor, the animation. I love the retro tech demo look. Even if I do think the pacing and the lack of episodes do keep it from being an elite show. Like, this is definitely a victim of the 8-episode season format, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not against entirely. It's led to some of my favorite shows ever. But I feel like a show like The Amazing Digital Circus would have greatly benefited from at least 15 episodes. The main issue I had with this movie is simply that it wasn't a movie. It was 2 episodes awkwardly taped together. It's so unorganized. I was expecting to see the biggest adventure these characters have faced, and instead we just got an incoherent mess. Nothing is as emotionally rewarding as it should be, since nothing is built up to. There's also a fake-out death which lasts a good chunk of the movie. That's one of my biggest pet peeves in storytelling. Like, it tends to come across as underwhelming at best and manipulative at worst. Here it's at least just underwhelming, but that kind of thing has only ever really been done well, like, once. And unfortunately, I'm not able to tell you which story did that.
What do you, the viewers, think it is?
I also felt that the character development in this movie was lacking. Like, I wanted to see these characters overcome their biggest obstacles. I wanted to see Gangle overcome her depression. I wanted to see Jax become a decent human being, or Zubul find some self-love. But up until the very end, the characters don't learn very much at all. Besides Jax with his abstraction and heart-to-heart with Pomni, they at least give him closure, but nobody else really learns anything for the majority of the movie. It's not until the third act where they decide to give Cain a redemption arc, which feels underdeveloped. And I think the very ending where they learn that their human counterparts are alive and thriving does help give some of them closure, like especially Kinger, who knows that there is a version of his wife that's still alive. But that's at the very end. If this were just a finale episode, that would be fine, but as a movie, I kind of expect a little more. Also, this movie was a lot less funny than the show consistently was. I still think it got some laughs out of the audience, and I laughed a few times, but there weren't any lines I found myself quoting, like I do quite a few lines from the show. The one thing I did love about the movie was Jax's backstory. We get a deeper look at how this jerk-ass came to be. We actually see him grow very close to one of the former circus members named Ribbit, and he opened up to her more than he was ready to and ended up regretting it, causing the two of them to grow apart, and eventually leading to her abstracting. And I think that's really fitting, because Jax does tend to refuse to open up to people, regardless of how hard they try. And going in, I was kind of hoping Jax would learn that lesson, but I feel like him abstracting does kind of fit too, because that pattern of self-destructive behavior didn't stop. He still pushed Pomni away. As a finale, this was competent. It at least wrapped up the story and left the characters in a satisfying place. But as a movie, it fails. When I go to the movies, I want to see a movie first and foremost. While it was definitely really cool to see these characters and visuals on the big screen, I just wish it were part of a better story.